Well, David, thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting
Cool.
me.
Yeah, of course. So let's do a little bit of background, just about you. The company that you're here with, and your official position there, yeah, like your role.
Okay, yeah, tried to be precise and not bore you with too many details. I attended Boise State University, worked in the subcontracting trades, did foundations and framing, and found that I had a affinity for the construction world. Um, uh, and I started building my first home in 1987 under Morehouse Construction. In 1990, I invited my uncle, who was an engineer and also had a master's in finance, who had worked in corporate America for one of the largest construction companies in the world called, at the time, Morrison Knudsen. He'd put 17 years in, and they went through some corporate changes, and I took a stab in the dark and said, "Hey, why don't you join me and build with me?" And he accepted the offer. So in 1990, we formed McCarter Morehouse. Long
Okay.
of the short is, he retired in 2008. I have been the sole owner of the company since then, and been chugging away for, I don't know how much that, 37, 38 years. I don't know, long time, 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
So,
That's a good long time.
yeah.
And so you you started the business before you kind of partnered with him. Is that correct?
I did. I did. I just jumped in and said, "Hey, I want to be a general contractor." And I must have been a okay salesman or too cheap, one of the two things, because I convinced people to let me build their houses, and I look back and I go, "Why would they let me build their house?" I had very little experience, but you know, learned as I went, and feel like it was, a few first 3 or 4 years was a learning experience, and then, figured out the process and the business and refined it. I did find the homes are still standing. They're beautiful homes.
Wow.
It's not like, yeah, I built a bad home. I had to learn some of the business side of the construction industry. And when Doug, joined me, he brought a vast business experience with him, so
Yeah. Okay.
good combination.
Right. No, that's good. I mean, yeah, sometimes the right partnership can really, obviously, excel things, especially if you find someone that, has kind of the skills that you lack, and, you know, uh, you have the skills that they lack, and you can find something that works. So how long were you in business before you partnered?
3 years.
Okay. And in that, did you find, I mean, like, how, how are you getting clients back then?
Uh, some of it was, through the real estate world, but, we grew and still to this day are pretty organic,
Hmm.
word of mouth, and have a reasonable, influence in this community now that, our signs are out there, and, y we haven't, had a program that I would say is organized, in a fashion where we put up billboards or go door to door. It's been pretty much word of mouth.
Wow. Okay. So like the whole time has been pretty much word of mouth referrals.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Have you tried, like, just, I don't know, ads, or like different advertising kind of things, or not really?
Not too much. Some of the realtors have promoted us in the local publications and the internet, and we have I would say, we've dabbled in social media. I, uh, I have 2 sons that are now involved in the business, and, they're pushing me along, and I'm understanding, or, relenting to the understanding that, social media is a powerful tool. And so
Yeah.
we've got a few things that we've published here and there and get a small sample of followers, but, you know, it's, something that we're headed towards, whether I want to admit it or not.
Right. Yeah. The website looks nice. You know, like when I checked out the website, it looks like, is that pretty new? And was that your sons that kind of put that together?
It's been a we've had various websites over the years. This one has been about 3 years. Um,
Okay.
and we don't stay up on it as well as we should. Um, we're going to change some things and do that. But it's fairly representative of our work, but there's a lot more that's out there. We get a lot of people reaching out in the SEO world that says, "Hey, you're not utilizing the tools and things," and it's I just don't know who to listen to, and
Yeah.
how that works. And so my younger generation that's involved with me in the business, they'll figure it out, and we'll use
Yeah,
those tools more strongly.
for sure. For sure. Yeah. I feel like the SEO kind of, and just digital marketing agencies in general seem to be, I think that they used to be a little more helpful than they are. It seems like the more that model kind of has been established, it seems like the more dissatisfied that the the clients are. Um, it just seems like the model works by acquiring new companies, and then the ones that have been around just kind of go to the wayside. And I know that like the churn rate for like a digital marketing agency is like 4 months or something. Like it's not very good. And I
Well,
think that
the question I have with it all is if somebody was coming to town or they lived in town and said, "Hey, I want to build a custom home," or we do commercial work, wanted to build a dental office or something like that, how many go online and that's how they're going to find their contractor? And maybe it happens that way, but it's a big ticket item. I find that where we get our business is strong referrals from
yeah,
person to person. I don't, it's not like they're going on to buy a pair of jeans or a coat or a hat. It's, you know, hey, I'm going to go
true,
online and find me a builder today.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as funny as it sounds, though, I do feel like people in my generation and younger are just going to
Or-
be doing that more and more.
Well, you got to have a presence, that's for sure. And
Right,
and and I guess it's probably, yeah, that's where they want to do their homework. That's for sure. And so you got to be sure you have a presence and
right,
you got a message that's relatable or creates interest.
right. Yeah. And so, how big is the team?
We have 11 employees
Okay,
and we do an average year, we do about 25 million in construction.
okay, yeah. And how long is it? I guess like what was the team like 10 years ago? I mean, like how many? What's been kind
Well,
of the
uh,
expansion,
in
the
'08,
growth?
when my uncle retired, we went from about that size back to myself and my wife. It in Treasure Valley in Boise, Idaho, it went to zero work. I mean,
Wow.
there was a lot of my peers who I was had envy towards that had reached some really great success, had speculated a lot, that um, coughed it all back up. I'm pretty conservative. I don't build a ton of specs. Usually do just custom projects one at a time, negotiated work. And so I just wrote it out in 2000. It was in 2010 when I took officially over the company and myself. I did one pharmacy and one home, and it was my wife and I.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and then our work just kind of almost has doubled each year from there.
Wow. That's nice. And what areas do you serve? Is it just like, yeah,
We
what is your
well,
service
that
area?
when they use the term here, Treasure Valley, it's like Boise, Meridian, Napa, Caldwell, Eagle, Star, and I think the population base is probably about 3/4 of a million to 1 million people
Okay.
that it serves. But we do reach outside of that. We do some things to the north in the mountain community that's about 2 hours, 120 miles away. We built some custom mountain properties. We have done commercial work out of state. We did one project in the state of Washington, and we've been to eastern Idaho, which is about a 3.5, 4 hour drive for us on commercial work, not homes. And
Okay.
we have a vet clinic to build in northern Idaho, which is about a 7 to 8 hour drive from here.
Okay.
So we mostly service the state of Idaho,
Yeah.
but
And
a
then,
majority of the work is right here in what we call the Treasure Valley.
okay. Yeah. So are there jobs that you kind of turn away because it's too far?
Um, yeah, we haven't solicited out of those areas. Usually we're recruited um to do those jobs. And I don't think I would build a custom home more than a couple hours away. It's just very hands-on and very emotional projects for our customer. And
Hmm.
it a commercial job you can manage longer distance easier. It's not
Sure.
the homeowner, they want you to sometimes be there in an hour because they're freaking out that something is not the way they wanted it or something. and
Right.
and so there it'd be more challenging to reach too far in the true custom homes. The term custom is so overused that people use that term if you get to pick your carpet color. Oh, it's a custom home. When I say custom home, it is a complete new design with each client. And so we build one of a kinds with each client, and it's a
Wow.
process. It's not an event. It's not go pick my one of three colors and then we're building it.
Yeah. Is there an average price, or does it vary pretty
You
much?
know, our projects tend to average currently 1 million to 4.5 million
Okay.
in the residential side.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it residential versus commercial? Is it pretty like split? You were doing like a pharmacy, you said, like way back when. So
Yeah,
it's always been
from year to year it'll flux, but I would say that it's about 50/50 now. This year
okay.
might be more commercial. Well, it's probably about still 50/50.
Yeah. Okay.
The higher interest rates, and the availability of the right product to build a nice custom home, it vacillates in this community as new developments come on board and such.
Yeah. And so when you design a new home and you are truly custom, I guess, like, what is the team? I'm assuming it's internal. Like, you probably don't outsource any of the aspects, right? It's an internal
We ha
team that.
it's for the most part, we have the same, designers, same
Hmm.
architect. Part of it is employees, and part of it is relationships that we use on this. So it's almost feels very internal.
Yeah, right.
But
Because you've just worked with
I don't
them.
have an architect on staff. I have an architect
Okay,
that leases a space from me, and he
I see.
does some work for other people. But we are definitely a vast majority of his work.
Gotcha. Okay. And you've been doing so the work with is it basically just one architect that you really work
Yeah,
with?
occasionally, we do things with other architects, but we're very much sitting down with clients and creating in-house as a team effort. So we it's no almost always one architect.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And when it comes to commercial jobs, is there like like a most common, like if you're going to take on a commercial job, you see, this type more than others?
We do a large amount of dental and medical
Okay.
and office. We have built a Subway sandwich shop, but we
Okay.
don't do a ton of restaurant. I would say it's mostly office and predominantly, like in the last 10 to 12 years, whether it's been a ground up or a remodel or a tenant improvement, we've done over 40 dental practice type buildings or
Okay.
projects.
Yeah. And so how many projects do you tend to do a year?
Um, 10 to 15.
Okay. It's about a 50-50 split, residential, commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm curious, just like over the years being in business, building, has there been like any key, like kind of turning points in the business?
Well, again, things have changed for me. I'm, I'm dating myself. I started the business with a pager. Then the cell phone came out, and
A
it was
pager? Sorry, what is that? I'm just kidding.
a there's going to be people who listen that don't know what we're talking about.
It's true. I remember
And
my dad had a pager, so
yeah. So we'd get a page, it'd be a number. You drop everything, you go find a phone booth and call the number and see who it was.
yeah.
And then we bought this big old, people may not know this, Radio Shack was a electronics store that sold cell phone, and it had a big old battery, and you could plug it into your cigarette lighter of your vehicle, and you could tie it to your horn of your truck. So you'd be out working on a job, and all of a sudden the horn start honking, and you knew you had a phone call. Well, the funny thing is, if you had 5 or 6 contractors there, everybody, is that my horn or is that your horn?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they'd run to your truck, and so things evolved. So I would say communication capabilities has been the internet during.
Yeah.
So people used to bring magazine clippings of things they liked in a folder, and we'd sit down and
Mm,
say, "Oh, you want this?" It would be pictorial, hard copy pictorial type
right.
things. And so the internet changed the business, and it's made it um, a little more complicated. It's been a blessing for change and for choices and things, but not everybody should build a custom home. If
Hmm.
you're not a good decision maker and can feel confident and comfortable with your decisions, and you start second guessing yourself, you'll drive yourself crazy because you'll see something new every day if you're on the internet and go, "Oh, I
Yeah.
changed my mind. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that." So
Right.
we've gotten to the point where we tell people we won't break ground on your house until all your decisions are made.
Okay.
And even then people still come back and want to change this or that, but we just warn them it's painful and it costs you time and money.
Right.
You have to draw a line in the sand because it's endless now. The
Yeah.
the things you see and the choices, and so a true custom home is for those that are pretty confident in their ability to make decisions and to feel comfortable with them and not second guess themselves.
Right. Yeah, and so it seems like probably with something, that takes this long, that costs this much, there's a bit of education required, right, for the customer.
Yeah, there is, and it's, so different personalities. It's a complex process in the sense of you have to, the client needs to know who they are and comfortable with who in their decision process again, or else it can be pretty intense or overwhelming or create some pretty good anxiety.
Yeah, and do you kind of have that conversation like up front that like, this isn't for
We
everyone?
we do, but I don't know. Some people you don't know until they try it, and then they find
That's
out.
true.
I tell people, especially married couples, which is a high majority of people who build custom homes. I tell them, and they think I'm kind of being sarcastic or joking with them. I say, two rules I have. One is I'm not a marriage counselor, and two, I don't take sides because both those things happen a lot.
Right. Where they want you to like, yeah, you agree with me, right? And yeah, that's not something you want to get involved with.
I don't want to get involved in that,
No,
and it happens.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I get sidebarred all the time. Hey, can you tell my
Right.
wife she can't have that? No, I'm not. That's your job.
Right. Yeah. So do you have like a vetting process for customers?
Well, I'm looking for one.
Yeah.
Other than I should have taken in college more psychology classes.
Mm,
But I think that needs to happen. In the sense of, I think that whoever comes up with a test, they have personality tests. You've seen them.
yeah. There's
People.
lots. Yeah.
There's lots of personality tests. Well, somebody needs to come up in the industry a test that tells you whether you should be building a custom home or not. Now, whether the client
Right.
will be honest with them or not, that'll be interesting. But
True. Yeah.
it's interesting. I find, and again, going down the downside of custom homes, it can be a wonderful experience, and most of my clients find that it's a wonderful experience. There's a handful that you say, "Would you do it again?" That say, it was tough."
Yeah.
But the thing is, the point I was trying to make is that it's a process that I try to vet. I try to be forthright, but people sometimes just don't know until they get involved, and
Right.
we're a lot of us. Everybody's on their best behavior when you're courting each other. I'm being interviewed and they're being interviewed,
Right.
and it's like dating,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, what happened to those nice, friendly people? Or they say, well, what happened to that builder that I thought was the right guy? It can go two
Right.
ways.
Totally. I feel like yeah, in job interviews too, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's hard to when you only have one job interview. It's kind of hard to tell if like, well, that was really
Yeah.
nice, but is that what it's going to look like when after a week of them on the job or
Yeah. Because
yeah,
building a house together is like a second marriage for a period of time. You spend a lot of time with each other.
right, yeah, which makes sense. It's very involved. Um, I was just thinking of something that escaped me. Wait, hang on. It's Oh man, it was good. Oh yeah, okay. So I actually just had an interview, like a podcast with someone who he designs outdoor spaces and like very custom, but just the outdoor space. And he was telling me kind of his vetting process, and he was saying that he has people fill out, I think he said like an 8-page questionnaire, and one of the questions that he has on there is like, do you have any hobbies? And if they say no, he doesn't work with them because he doesn't really know why,
That,
other than he just said I've just noticed that if people don't have hobbies, they're just not a good candidate for this. Like they're not gonna, uh,
You
decide on what
become
they
their
want.
hobby at picking at you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that is a good insight. I'll have to think about that and see. That's a
yeah,
good question. And why? I need to know the why.
right. He said that he didn't really know why. He just has noticed that, if they don't have a hobby, yeah, they don't want something custom. So yeah, maybe that's helpful. But
That's an interesting. That that's
right.
a that's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. It was Dwayne. I forget his last name, but he's with VizX Designs is his company. He does
Hmm.
outdoor living spaces, but um so yeah, but back to you. What's is there any kind of like projects like that you want to spotlight currently, or just like maybe even things in the past that were like, oh, like this was a really cool project?
You know, on the residential side, we've built some pretty, I would say, pretty fun ways to live your life and take advantage of the environment.
Hmm.
A lot of our homes have been lately on hillsides where there's views looking over the city or the airport from a distance and creating v- some really visual experiences. The One of the last ones we just finished this last fall was in McCall, which is a resort community area. Has a beautiful lake, Payette Lake. The house isn't on a particular lake, but it's all within there. And these homes are traditionally second homes that are in the 3 or 4 million. There's some in the community that are well excess of that amount. And those are fun projects because of the creativity, and you're dealing with snow load and cold environment and nice warm summers, and
Yeah.
the resources are committed to building a very attractive project. Um, but I've always said I don't care about the cost of the project isn't important to me, or the size of the project. I align myself with people who want to create living spaces that fit their needs and care about a good experience and a quality product. So, if I dig back in the days I've built homes that are 1,200 square feet before, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really for us, it's about matching our capabilities with the people who have the um, right goals and
Sure.
that and the resources to do that. On the commercial side, we've created and developed little pockets of office complexes that usually abut to a residential neighborhood that has a family practice doctor, a dermatologist, a dentist, um, an eye clinic. I'm talking about the particular one we developed that I actually have my office in here. We have
Oh,
6 buildings,
nice.
and so it's fun to create neighborhood service areas for doctors and for the neighborhood and such. It's been very rewarding, and um, so it's very nice to build. And why it's a good fit for us, coming first from the residential side, a lot of these buildings have elements of residential feels transitioning to a commercial feel because they back up to neighborhoods. They're attached to neighborhoods. So
Right.
we're pretty good at those transitional styles that gives it an office flare, but blends in with the neighborhood.
Yeah, 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 that's cool. I'm curious if you could just maybe talk more too about like what what maybe like sets you apart. Like you guys do truly custom, but like what's going to be different from you, with you guys versus, some competitors or other
Yeah.
custom,
Well, I feel like that in our community there is a handful of true custom home builders left, and I think that what we all have different gifts and talents, and we align with different personalities. I'm not a fit for everybody, but I would
Sure.
say is that uh, we're good listeners. We have a very long history with the talent pool that does the craftsmanship in these homes, and we treat it like it's our own home.
Hmm.
It's listening to them, but giving them counsel and advice from our years of experience, and helping them enhance their vision for how they want to live, and try to exceed the expectations at the end of the day. I think we're good at that, have lots of years of experience, and have done that well. On the commercial side, I think what sets us apart is um, we don't just say, okay, we can build you a building. We go into how it'll benefit their whole business, from aligning them. We have relationships with lenders that we introduce. We know a lot about the community and the demographics, and where there's underserved and they need a dentist or a doctor or whatever we're building for, a vet clinic. Um, we we reach a little further, and are not just builders, but we're really helping them structure their physical facilities for success in the right location, and set them up as best we can financially. We've been able to convert a lot of people who lease space, and by just asking the question, if you could own your own building, would you want to? And they say, well, a lot of them say, well, I think so. And then we explain to them the economics of the benefits to them to be purchasing a building, um, both on write-offs, expensing the building, but at the end of the day, what's your long-term plan? When you decide that you've practiced dentistry enough, what is your exit strategy? You
Hmm.
you've you've created a building that you can either hold or sell. If you hold it, then you can sell your practice, but hold the building and collect rent.
Right.
Um, or you've created an asset um, that you've paid down and eventually pay off, and you've got a tangible asset. And along the way, it's been equal or less than if you would have been leasing in the outgo of cash.
Yeah.
So we dig into the business side of things, not only just yeah, we can build your building, but we help them understand why, what's the benefits. And also, we've learned through others that in the medical dental world, a new facility, you can have an existing client patient role, but the numbers are just a fact. If you build a new facility, most of the time their practices increase by 20 to 30% just by the vibe, the feeling, and the newness. People like them to look and feel like you're current with the technology, and you're not just going into an old building.
Totally. I'm curious about your for materials. I'm sure that at this point you probably have, suppliers that you always work with, but how do you kind of what's your vetting process there, and like, making sure that
We have some really long standing relationships with many of our vendors, but um, we often are looking for the latest products or materials, and with the internet, it's endless. We get bombarded with new products, and sometimes we're searching for new products. So the internet, the web is a great tool to search out things and to learn new technology, new offerings. So we try to stay current on that. We also attend trade shows that we often come away with a new tidbit of information or product that improves. And but
Yeah.
subcontractors and suppliers, we're very relationship driven, and don't like to re-educate or retrain new ones unless there's an absolute need.
Right. Yeah, because I wonder if there's sometimes where like a homeowner will be asking for something specific that, okay, well, we've never had that request before, like a material
Yeah.
or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
We get that a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
Just say, I saw this on the internet. And with AI now, you got to do your homework and say, is it real? Does it
Yeah.
exist?
Right. Like, no, that's from a sci-fi movie. That doesn't, you don't
Yeah.
find that on
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah. No,
Right.
the fun part of today's information age is if you're not learning, you're not paying attention. There's always something to learn.
Right. Have you guys like, kind of talking about technology, embrace like any sort of new technologies or like, what do you have like a favorite
Oh yeah.
technology or tech platforms or?
Like I said, I've come from pagers to phones to, I remember entering college and back in 1981, and they made me take an intro to computer class. You know what my
Okay.
statement was to
What was
myself?
it?
Why would I want to do that? I don't even know why I would look at a computer. Now, how
Right.
ignorant was that? And
You didn't
so
see that it was going to be like, yeah, what it is today.
I had no vision regarding that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
right.
you
I
know,
mean, I think, isn't that why, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs I mean, they did see it,
gazillionaires.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but like very few people I think did see that. So,
Yeah, Commodore 64 and play Pong or something, that's what, oh,
right.
okay, we play Pong or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
No, so, yeah, technology is evolving and, they use the term smart homes. And when that first came out, it was very expensive, very archaic, very cumbersome, hard to manage. And now I have my thermostat on my phone, and I can turn my heater on and off, and I can got the Ring camera, and I can see if somebody's at my front door delivering a package. And
Right.
right, it's a whole new world, and it's become affordable, and it's even 62-year-olds can figure it out.
Right. Yeah. And then there's also like, Tesla charging stations and
Yep.
backup generators, all that kind of, that probably is also a pretty common request these days, right?
It's very much so. It's in the city of Boise. You have to wire your garage to accommodate a charging station. It's a code
Yeah.
now.
Oh, wow. So if you
Yeah.
build a new garage, it has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You have to have the electric there. So
So even if they
yeah.
don't intend to
Yeah.
have one,
Gotta have one.
wow. That's pretty forward. Is I guess like the city of Boise, is it kind of, at least in terms of like energy, kind of forward thinking there?
Yeah, I think that Idaho compared to like Europe is new, and
Yeah.
when I moved to Meridian, Idaho, I was going in my 15th year. I think the population was 12 to 14,000. It's 144,000 now.
Right.
And that's still small compared to a lot of places, but if you
Sure.
think about it in 40 years, it's 10x.
Right.
And so we're energy conscious, even though we have hydropower and such. We live by a national building code, and so those codes address the nation, and they try to keep us on top of energy. Like in our commercial buildings now, we have all the switches have sensor occupancy switches. So
Hmm.
if there's no motion, the lights will turn off.
Okay.
Um, so they'll automatically shut off so that they're not wasting power. And the smart thermostats, if there's no movement, or you set them up to where it's a lot not trying to keep the building 70 degrees in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
the technology is getting better and better, and you know, it's I can say now that I need to pay attention because it changes rapidly.
Yeah. Right. And what about just like design apps and that sort of thing? Like
Yeah,
the
that's coming along in AI.
yeah.
I haven't played with it a lot yet, but it's coming to where you'll tell it to design a dental office and give it some parameters, and it'll spit something out to at least throw rocks at. In
Wow.
in 5 minutes or whatever, two
Right.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the AI is going to change the way we do things. It's a useful tool, but you have to, in my estimation, you have to be careful with it in the sense that it's like anything. Just because it says it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. And so do you work on just one project at a time, or what's kind
No,
of your
we
capacity?
have we have multiple projects going in different phases all the time.
Yeah, I
So
guess that makes
we
sense.
have initial meetings, and then going on, we have projects that are halfway done or finishing, and every project I finish, I'm trying to find a new one. I work myself out of business, so to speak, and then I have to go get another one.
Yeah. Um, I'm curious about yeah, I mean, client acquisition. You said it's just word of mouth and referrals. And at
Yeah,
this point, are you are you the oldest in Boise, or is there?
I'm one of the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah, I,
Yeah,
I'm not
like the most
probably not
established.
the oldest, but there's not a lot of my peers have retired or went away.
Sure, right. So like you're the longest standing,
Yeah,
or one of,
so
yeah, yeah,
survivor. I should get a shirt that says I'm a survivor.
yeah. Um, for when it comes to pricing, like
Mhm.
how do you bid a job?
It's pretty straightforward. We treat every project exactly the same, and we uh, calculate the materials, the labor, the management of it, the insurances, the equipment, and then we target a 10% profit
Okay.
margin. And people who say, "Well, I do it for 5 or 4 or 3," you don't stay in business. There's too much behind that. That
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's no mystery, it's, and I don't bid work, I negotiate work, but I
Hmm.
occasionally have bid work, or somebody will talk to three different people, and then the client will say, well, they said they could build me this with this description for X amount less. And if it's too far apart, I would say it's not the same product that I'm proposing.
Right.
It's a very competitive world out there. And
For sure.
it's, it takes X to stay in business. And I just try to hit base hits. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to, oh, I can get a lot of money for this project. Same philosophy every project.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that because it's the same for commercial too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have competitors. If I was charging too much, I wouldn't be in business.
Yeah. I'm curious if what kind of market trends, I'm sure that it kind of fluctuates on just like what people the style that they want, or like what seems to be kind of the trend of today, or is there one? Is it kind of like there's a more of a mix today?
You know, one of the interesting um, facts about Boise, Idaho, it's the largest city in the United States that's furthest away from any other large city. We're kind
Hmm.
of like an island. The
Yeah.
next big city is Salt Lake or Portland.
Yeah.
Um, and so we have kind of probably our own distinctive style, but
Hmm.
with the internet again, with the web and stuff,
Yeah.
you'll see trends. But I would say we have kind of our own style, and like say, we have a mix of buildings that have a kind of a traditional roof with shingles on it for some of our office buildings, and then some of them have a flat roof. Some are a little more modern looking, some
Hmm.
are more traditional looking. It's really highly driven by the client and the area in which you're building.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have in the commercial world, the building jurisdictions have a design review process. Every building has to be reviewed by the city. The bedroom community over called Eagle is very stringent and very detailed, and they all are pretty got their own requirements, but they have very much set patterns of undulation that they look for, color schemes they look for, windows, the amount of windows. There's a lot of requirements that each of the communities kind of develop.
Hmm.
So in describing it, a picture here would speak a thousand words. If I sent you some pictures, or you go online, you can kind of see some of the styles.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. You said that there's like 11 team members?
Yes.
Yeah, in house. And so
Hmm.
when do you decide like, okay, it's time to hire someone?
It's my favorite is a referral,
Hmm.
because then you got some understanding of experience. It's again that interview process. Some people are great interviewers, but can't walk the talk. And
Right.
so, you know, the current 11 members, I think, have been with me the least longest is probably 3.5 years.
Okay.
And it came as a referral.
Yeah.
So I've hired as people just advertise and have people interview and think you hit a home run, and just for whatever reasons, it just isn't quite the right fit. And so, you know, I would like to say I'm a great interviewer and a judge of character, but I don't do it enough to probably be classified as doing that right. Have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, Dave Ramsey, EntreLeadership, I actually went to one of his courses and have garnered a lot about business and how to run a business by just listening to him over the years and attending one of his EntreLeadership courses. And I've read his books, several of his books, and so he's I like him. I've made all these mistakes, so learn from me, and shares his experiences. And I'd like to say that I don't repeat his mistakes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just part of the process.
Right. Right. And yeah, how often do you like go through the hiring process? I mean, is it like how many interviews do you have like a year or
Um, it's probably one every 2 years average or something like that. A hire,
yeah, okay.
not a
Luckily
ton,
not. Yeah. It's
not a ton.
it's not my favorite process. I don't really
You
like
know,
that. So
yeah, and you can edit this out because I don't want to be um, negative. But when people ask me, "What do you do for a living?" I says, "My good days, I'm a general contractor. My bad days, I'm an adult daycare." And it's
yeah.
not, it's not It's not so much my team now is fabulous. I love every one of them, and I travel a lot and vacation a lot and don't worry about it. I have 2 sons that are part of the 11 team, and
Nice.
then, but, the days when things don't go right, with a subcontractor or supplier, and some things just happen, like a plumber's fitting breaks and you flood a project and the customer's just freaking out that their house is ruined, and it's not ruined, it just needs to be addressed and stuff, That's the days you feel like you're in adult daycare.
Right. Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is the customer freaking out that you're trying to say, "Look, nobody's dying. This is all materials that can be fixed and repaired or dried out. It's not the
Right.
end of the world."
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like you probably should have done some psychology classes,
Well,
because
every business owner should.
for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, especially like, a lot of your customers are going to need, it sounds like some therapy.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, again, I don't want it to come across that it's all like that. It's a small percentage that,
sure.
and let's just be candid. There's a lot going on in people's lives.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
there's
People are busy.
there's their personal lives. They got, their job pressures, kid pressures, whatever, and it spills over into the building process at times.
Yeah. I'm curious if you could talk about maybe, just like looking into the future. What are kind of like some challenges you feel like, and opportunities you like moving into the future for home
Well,
builders and commercial builders?
um, regulation, governmental regulation is it always seems to be growing instead of reducing, and that is a challenge and an opportunity.
Hmm.
Entry into the market for a new client, new builder. I mean, a new builder. There's a steep learning curve, and
Hmm.
so competition. The challenge is up in northern Idaho, I have a vet clinic that's been, I think, going on in the 6 month range of just the permitting process.
Wow.
And that's painful for the client and for everybody to take that long to get through that process. So
Right.
governmental regulation is always a challenge. Uh, um, I feel like I'm very fortunate that I have longstanding relationships with my tradespeople, but they say that for every, I couldn't tell you the numbers, but every uh, retiree tradesman that's retiring, there's for every 10, and again, you'd have to research the number, but for every 10, there's only one coming into the trades. Like if 10 electricians retire, new one's coming in. So
Yeah.
there's going somewhere we're going to hit a wall with trained people. That's
Right.
another process. Um,
Which
uh,
you feel like, does that provide like an opportunity?
it can be both.
Right.
It can be both. The
Right.
cost, you know, when there's a supply and demand, and when there's a supply shortage, the cost goes up,
True. Yeah.
and also, you know, who's going to get the electrical team if they have choices, multiple choices, whoever the highest bidder is or whatever, how that. So tradespeople are a shortage. And then, um, expectations of homeowners has seemed to risen immensely on what is acceptable, or what is an excellent job.
Hmm.
I run into some that are looking for perfection. There is no such thing when you're dealing with imperfect materials and imperfect people. So how do you define what is an excellent job? And I I'm not joking. I've had clients get a magnifying glass out and look at their walls at the paint job, and I says that's not a realistic expectation to
Wow.
to look at something. It's been a while since that happened, but or they'll take their phone and they'll zoom in 10x and take a picture of something, and I go, that's not realistic. That's not a industry standard, and
Right.
it's so. Um, That's a challenge is especially in the, upper end clientele is what is acceptable?
Hmm.
What is a excellent job? Because,
Yeah.
um, I tell clients that wanna have this conversation that I can probably ruin every project you live in, or you want me to go pick all the flaws, I can find them. I've got a great eye for detail.
Yeah.
I can sit in my own home, which I built and love my home, but I can show you all the flaws if you want, if
Yeah.
that's where we want to go, because
Right.
I can see them. I have enough years of experience, and there's nothing perfect. And so you gotta learn to come to terms what is acceptable, and then let it go and say, I'm going to enjoy this. I
Right.
have had clients that literally obsess about details that is not even realistic at all.
And you feel like that's kind of newer. Like that wasn't
It
so
seems
much
to
the issue
be.
before.
It seems to be. I think that I would say whether it's COVID related or not, it seems to have started about the time of COVID of
Hmm.
some real anxious and anxiety that hasn't left. People are still carrying some anxieties. Our current political climate, whether I'm a conservative politically, but I knew that our new president, any change brings consternation and unknown and excitement. And so right now we're worried about tariff, inflation, interest rates, and we don't know what's going to happen. And so I feel some anxiety. My
Yeah.
clients feel anxiety, and it manifests. Sometimes we're not very good at articulating what's causing us to be anxious, and a custom home can really become the focal point when it's really about the other things that are going on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to talk too much about politics either, but I am curious about just like the tariffs and like in the long run, do you think that it's going, I mean, obviously it could just be a political move that maybe it'll, shift and, it won't even be a topic of discussion in, a few months. But do you think that it's going to encourage more like, suppliers, manufacturers in the US? I think, isn't that kind of the goal? And do you think that that's going to,
That appears to be the goal, is to be less dependent on foreign uh, people for our materials. And again, um, you could go to the extreme and say, "Well, are you trying to become isolationist?" And I'm not pro isolationist. I think
yeah,
that we just need to all figure out how to get along, and the world's resources out there, uh, how to trade equal, or how does it work? And that's a big question, and how to
yeah,
make that all transpire.
for sure.
It's it's um, it's a big question, and
Yeah.
the pendulum seems to never be swinging, and it seems to swing. It's never just perfect,
No. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
and so
Do you, s-
we are just at the mercy of what if we go into a trade war with China, how much of our materials or natural resources are we going to fight for, and what cost.
right.
And so I believe that again, I'm a conservative. I think we should have the ability to provide for ourselves, but I also believe that there's nothing wrong with business on a global scale.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
believe that we should all take care of each other and treat each other right.
right. Yeah, and if someone, I mean, do you ever get requests for people like who are like, I really want this door from Italy, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But I got one client right now that wants us to look at a window manufacturer in Germany.
okay, yeah,
They're high end German made windows that are super energy efficient. And
yeah,
we're investigating it and seeing what it takes, what it's cost, and how long it takes to get it. We'll
okay,
see. We'll see how
yeah,
that works out.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
Because
I feel like
there are some, I drive a BMW. It's my all-time favorite car I've ever driven. I think that the engineering and the all the bells and whistles and the performance of it is has been the best car I've ever driven. And
yeah,
somebody say, "Well, that's anti-American." Well, you know what? I believe in I believe in free trade. I believe in whoever can produce the best wins, and that's what makes things elevate. That's, you know, America needs to look at that BMW and say, hey, let's go build something that's better than a BMW and
right,
is affordable. And, competition is a good thing.
yeah. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Okay, so yeah, just kind of wind us down here. We're over an hour now,
Uh,
so
I've
I
given you a
appreciate you.
lot of
Yeah,
minutia.
yeah, I appreciate it. I'm curious, like, what's kind of the vision? Like, what's the 5 year, 10 year kind of goal? Like, where's the company going?
Well, I have two sons that are involved that would like to carry on the torch, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to just make sure that I haven't set a date or a time, but that I can transition it smoothly and set them up as best I can for success.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I'm very fortunate. I have three sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
two sons are involved intimately, and one son is a real estate agent that feeds me work. My daughter
Nice.
lives 4 hours away, and she is a professional photographer and a podcaster.
Okay.
She has two other women that they do a podcast called "I'll Read What She's Reading." It's a book club,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
they surprised the heck out of me how many followers they have, and they sell some merchandise, and they interview
Very cool.
authors and stuff. And so, um, so she has two things going on, but that's irrelevant to what we're talking about. My
Yeah,
future
but that's
is
cool.
my 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 future is just to leave a legacy and have my kids be able to continue to enjoy that and create their own legacy.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, it sounds like you've really been able to do that. So that
Yeah,
is a cool
if
accomplishment.
if
Yeah.
I take the time to look back, um, and go throughout this valley, I have touched a lot of people's lives in improving their living lifestyle, both in home and at work, and I feel
Yeah.
really good about it.
Yeah. I guess kind of the final question, which I feel like I have an idea of what you're going to answer, is what is the best investment that you've ever made?
My kids,
Yeah. I figured you would say that.
yeah, you know, these the financial rewards provide opportunities to do things for my kids and with my kids, and uh, everybody works to provide for your needs, but um, ultimately, uh, I'm at the point in my career in my life is that I am trying to not just my kids, all the people that work for me, help them be successful in their lives and to enjoy. I am kind of a little bit of a obsessive personality, and I probably could have been labeled a workaholic for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And because of my if I like right now, I picked up pickleball.
Hmm.
I'm playing 2 hours 3 times a week, and that's why I watch videos about it. I'm trying to get better at it. It's my nature is whatever I'm doing, I kind of obsess about it, and,
Yeah.
I've learned in my business to work, a reasonable hours. It took me a lot of years to do it, to get
Yeah.
there, and to trust my team members and so, trying to just, set them up, for success, all of them.
Yeah.
And I want my clients to be successful. I drive by and I look and see if there's, patients in the parking lot, or, I want them all to do well.
Yeah.
And I would like people to be happy and
For
enjoy
sure.
life.
Yeah. And people seem to refuse that sometimes,
Yeah, we all are struggling in some fashion of something, but
for sure.
there is grumpier people than others.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm going to close us out here, but yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I feel like it's been educational for me. And if, I don't know if you want people to reach out to you, but, if you
Yep.
wanted to, if you like your socials or your website or yeah, like whatever you want to
Yeah. No,
promote.
yeah, that's fine. If you want to share that in your podcast or whatever, uh be happy to. I'd be happy to even it was pretty painless. So if you ever wanted to repeat and narrow down a topic or something, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And it'd be cool too, to maybe have your sons on, like when they're
Yeah.
taking off and,
Yeah.
seeing
It'd
where
be
they're going to
interesting
take
to
it.
see what they say about their old man.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna end the show here, but yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
It's
Take
nice
care.
to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
All right.